Your name?
Hannah Schumacher.
All right. And folks, where are we on this case?
Your Honor, if the court recalls, we had a first hearing on this over Zoom, and Ms. Schumacher raised an issue.
This is one of those courtroom moments that instantly grabs a judge's attention. A tenant is literally driving 45 miles one way just to throw away household trash. Have you ever heard of a housing dispute quite like this?
With trash collection at her apartment. And I've had a chance to talk to her and talk to my client. So I thought I'd give the court a brief update as to what the issue is.
All right.
And how we're hoping to proceed. The problem is that these are second floor apartments in a two-story building, and the building's lot line is the building's perimeter. So there's no place to put external trash cans. Historically, there have been trash cans on the sidewalk. That's been the way it has been for years and years and years. Recently, the city of Ypsilanti's code compliance people have been ticketing and refusing to allow the trash cans there. There's no place else to put them.
So the city of Ypsi's been ticketing
the owner and
Okay.
tenants for having trash cans on the sidewalk. The problem is we can't put it inside the building. This is one of those buildings where you open up the door, there's a vestibule big enough for the door swing, and then there's a staircase going up to the apartments. So we can't put it inside. There's no place off street to put it because my client doesn't own any place off street. So I think Ms. Schumacher is very reasonably saying, I don't want to drive 45 minutes to my parents' house to get rid of my trash. And I don't have a problem with her escrowing the rent. I'm getting up to speed on this now. What I want to do now is go back, read the city's ordinance and talk to them about this problem and try to find a resolution. So I think the best thing to do would be to kick this back a couple weeks to give me an opportunity to sit and talk to the city and see if we can't find a solution that works for the city, for my client, and for Ms. Schumacher, who absolutely should have a way to get rid of her trash on site.
Ma'am, what do you want to tell me? Thank you, counsel, for that.
I mean, I agree with pushing it back until the issue gets.
So that is very strange to me because I don't think in all the years I've been doing this that not having a place to put your trash has ever been an issue.
New one for me too.
I just have not heard of that. And when you were telling me at the first hearing, I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's this lady talking about? Thank you for getting that clarified because I wasn't sure when you were saying about the trash issue, and then we got the documents, and I'm still trying to. I don't understand. Like you just have no other place to put it.
Right.
Notice what's happening here. The landlord's attorney isn't denying the problem exists. Instead, he's trying to negotiate with the city itself. That tells you this case may be bigger than a simple landlord versus tenant dispute.
So what have you been doing?
I've been driving it 45 miles one way to my parents' house to dispose of it properly.
That's not acceptable.
Bless your heart. Okay. Yeah, that's not. What other are there other buildings around that?
And that's actually another part of the problem is that there's another apartment building that my client doesn't own next door, and their tenants also tend to be putting things into any receptacles we have on the sidewalk. And so,
Did they have the same issue, you think, or?
I'm not sure about that. It's too early for me to know that.
Know that. Gotcha.
But, from my standpoint, Your Honor, I totally understand where Ms. Schumacher's coming from. My client has been diligently trying to resolve the problem, but they haven't involved me. And as you know, attorneys have some other tools that maybe
Right.
the manager doesn't have. So I'm hoping to sit down and see if I can't work a resolution of this.
And just one other question. So they've been ticketing the owner for the trash that's outside.
So for example, Jimmy John's is a tenant downstairs in the building, and they've historically had their trash cans outside for years and years. And now code compliance is saying you can't. So my client got a $200 ticket for Jimmy John's trash cans sitting outside.
Because Jimmy John's is a tenant of your client.
Correct.
Right.
My client represents the owner.
So, okay. I'm just going to ask this question out loud. I don't expect an answer because you probably, neither one of you probably know. How do you allow a restaurant to open without having looked at whether or not they have the ability to dispose of things? But you would have done that because that's the way they were doing it.
Well, so there's two answers. First of all, what Jimmy John's is doing now is they're keeping the trash cans inside and then putting it out around the collection times. But again, I mean, this building is an older building.
Yeah.
It probably predates the code. My position is these are grandfathered uses because it's been done like this since the beginning of time. But saying that and having code compliance agree with me, there's a long path to walk between here and there.
Oh, have you dealt with the city?
No, I'm sure
Yeah,
this is
it's a
going
much
to be
longer
fun.
walk than you probably are.
We're going to find out.
Just gonna say that. How much time do you?
I'd like to kick it a couple weeks and then come back by Zoom. I don't want Ms. Schumacher to have to come
Okay.
forward on these
All right.
things because I don't think we have any factual disagreement between us. We're not going to need a trial. We're just going to need to find a solution.
Okay. And I'm just,
This is actually a very important legal point. A conditional dismissal usually means the court is encouraging cooperation rather than punishment. If both sides can fix the issue, the case disappears without a judgment hanging over the tenant's head.
saying if for whatever reason you don't get to where you need to be, if somehow or another you interplead the city, then I could foresee a settlement conference with you representing your client, Ms. Schumacher, in the city. Because
Your Honor, that's
you're right, she should not have to be doing that.
No, not at all.
All right. So I have 7th, 14th, 21st. Well,
Let's,
it'll be right before Thanksgiving. So which would be better for you, man? Why don't we?
I'm sorry, what was the date
The 7th, the 14th, and the 21st.
of November?
If you watch more football, you'd be able to follow right along. But anyway, go ahead.
The 14th.
14th would be.
Or is there a later date?
I have the 21st.
that's
You want
fine,
to do
Your Honor.
that?
I don't
Okay.
expect the city to be moving at the speed of lightning either, so.
Your expectations will probably be, well, never mind. I'll adjourn this to November 21st, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. However, what I will do is I will allow the parties to appear via Zoom, given the circumstances.
Appreciate it very much, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Schumacher?
There will be no judgment.
There's,
Ms. Schumacher? I do a lot of these hearings, okay? Right now, don't you even worry about that. I think the ultimate issue is to try to figure out how to solve this problem for you. All right. I mean, certainly for the landlord, but really solve the problem for you. You shouldn't have to be doing what you're doing.
just to give Ms. Schumacher a little bit of comfort on that issue. She's been very reasonable to work with. She's putting her money in escrow. I don't need an order for escrow. She's going to give me the information on that. And just so you understand, the most likely outcome, if we work this out, would be something called a conditional dismissal. And that would provide that you would then pay the rent because you're satisfied with the situation and the case is dismissed. So I don't see, based on what I know now, any point at which I'm going to ask the judge to enter a judgment against you. I mean, things could
And
change, but I don't see.
And now knowing what I know, even if he asked.
Get it.
All right. Okay. Ms. Schumacher, thank you. You have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. What?
He has one more, I guess.
What's your name?
Marty,
Pardon?
Marty, M-A-R-T-O, code C-O-L-E. I'm the daughter.
You're the daughter. Okay. And you reside at the premises?
Yes.
This is Miss Patterson?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
My mom passed away in August.
Miss Patterson did. That's right. I now recall when we read it. All right, where are we on this case then?
Your Honor, there is still a balance due and owing. We are requesting entry of a judgment today. But Miss Mari has failed to fill out a tenancy application and be approved for such. I do believe an occupancy application was filled out. However, in order to, continue the tenancy, she would need to fill out an application for tenancy within the community, which has not been done at this point.
So when was I supposed to fill that out? Because I thought that they were giving me till the end of November to vacate the premises. Nobody contacted me.
You're gonna vacate.
Yeah, I didn't want to stay past the end of November. I just wanted to the end of November to vacate the premises. That's all.
Your Honor, she did request until the end of November. However, my client was not agreeable to give until the end of November, so we would ask for a judgment at this point with 10 days.
When did your mom pass away?
August 14th.
Of this year.
She did.
So you just been scrambling since.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with our beneficiary not paying her rent for the time of me being there, but
Right, that's what you said the last time, that there was supposed to. They haven't paid it, and you haven't been able. This person that's receiving the funds
has not done anything. So, and I'm not in contact with her, my brother, my sister. So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. In 10 days, that's not enough time.
You just don't.
Let
me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to grant them a judgment because I think it's appropriate in the case for possession. How much time are you really looking at that? If I said you got to get out, what's the soonest you could do it?
November 30th. Maybe a few days before, but I mean, I need that much time because I just started back working. So I do have a security deposit I got to pay when I move. So I have to say.
I got you. Right here.
I mean, we would object to that. This case was filed in September, so she's had at least 30 days already to.
Yeah, and I just started working this month.
It's her brother.
In October.
Okay, hold on a second. Ms. Manson, what's your name?
Yeah, we haven't spoken.
Who is he?
My brother.
Yeah, you can come on up, as long as y'all ain't gonna fight.
I don't even know what he's doing here, but whatever.
All right, so what's your name?
My name is John Covington Jr.
All right, so what?
So I'm Ellen's son. I'm here to kind of give a basic background to this situation. She has been at my mother's house for over a year now. With
who has?
Me.
Okay.
Not being able to keep employment. It also already has had 2 evictions by my mother as far as paperwork when she's been at the home. I have talked to her.
So why does this matter to me?
So I've talked to Arbor Woods of the situation of getting my mother's things out to put in my auntie's.
Oh no, that's what this is about. See, him and my sister have came over with a big U-Haul trying to put me and my kids out so they could remove all the furniture and take it. Those are my mom's possessions, and she did not leave them to him or to one person. And since I'm there, they gonna come and take everything so me and my kids can sit on the floor. Like, that's not right. And I would never do that to them either. When I leave, I'm taking everything with me. Period. And I'm moving. So why would he think that everything would be outside or that he could take it to my aunt's house? Me and my kids are using it as of now because we are staying there. And as like he said, we've been there for a year. We have.
Upon that situation, sir, it was to the point that the eviction had came out. That was the only reason we were over there to try to move the things. Upon that point, as you can, there are lawyers right there. I'm pretty sure she can talk to who she's representing. She has changed the locks. Only reason I was at the house is I have a key to the house. And
I changed the lock because my sister and my aunt tried to come over and put me out, and they tried to remove everything out of the house so we can have to sit on the floor.
I don't need to put any.
How are you removing the furniture, John, when me and my kids are sitting on it? How are you removing everything out the house and taking it to Pam's house when me and my kids are there using it? I would never do that to you. Shut up.
Things upon you guys.
What things? You don't have no thing. Listen, 2 officers came over. There was officers.
Be right with you in a moment.
I had to call the police on them because they came over trying to put me and my kids out and remove everything. So the officers told him, my aunt and my sister, that they cannot come over there and remove nothing.
Okay, but hold on a minute.
All I wanted was my stuff, which is.
You don't have nothing. Your clothes, I gave them to you when the officer was there and he said, that's it. And he told you not to come back.
Hold on. So when you guys pulled up to the building.
No, I was here.
Just stop.
Okay.
Don't interrupt me. You can
Sorry.
interrupt him all you want.
I'm sorry.
When you pulled up to the building, it said 14A District Court. Walked in here to District Court. I am not a probate court. I am not a family court.
Correct.
So all of this stuff that you guys are talking about, fine and dandy. I can't do anything about that.
I'm here to figure out the day as far as when she has to be out, so we can.
Well, frankly, sir, you don't have any interest in this and haven't appeared until today. So I don't.
I've been at work.
Well, I don't care where you were. I'm just saying I'm on my 3rd hearing. And she's appeared at every hearing.
Mhm.
And you haven't been here. Now you come in here and talking about you want to know what date. I'll give the date because publicly I will that everything's going to happen. But everything else is up to you guys.
No, I understand.
Council, how much is owing?
Your Honor, rent to retain is $3,140.96. Cost of $186.00 for a total of $3,326.96. We would ask for that writ to issue after 10 days. This is a rented home. They don't have any interest in the home itself.
Got it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find after finding no tribal issue as to the amount of rent that's due. I'm going to judgment for possession to the landlord. The normal writ date would be the 10th. I am going to extend it a bit, ma'am. I'm not going to give you the 30 days to do it. I'm going to extend it to the 14th. And at that point, the landlord can take it. So writ to issue November 14th or thereafter, 2025. Right? Thank you. I might want to check that hallway, Alan.